Clickbait is the boogeyman for many UX writers. I know I'm scared of it. But what exactly is clickbait? Clickbait is generally agreed to be emotionally manipulative practices used to encourage interaction or clicks on content by overselling expectations on underwhelming realities. If this is a new term for you, I can promise you've seen clickbait before. Whenever you see a dramatic or weirdly urgent title that says something like, "You'll never believe what this celebrity did," or 5 ways to get rich fast, wait for number 4, and "this dog did what?" You're seeing clickbait in action. Clickbait has a reputation for being outdated, manipulative, cheap, and just plain bad. So most writers and their organizations avoid anything that has to do with clickbait at all costs. But sometimes this mentality doesn't work. I know I find myself frozen when I have a really good title idea, but fear it might be seen as clickbait. Instead of learning from clickbait, we often just fear it and settle for plainer, less effective copy. So today, I want to demystify the perception around clickbait by going through why clickbait doesn't work, how we can avoid clickbait accusations, and how we can use certain strategies to be persuasive without being manipulative. Let's start by deconstructing why clickbait doesn't work, or at least doesn't work in the long term. Because in terms of short-term goals, clickbait is actually highly effective. There's a reason people use it. It's almost guaranteed to get a lot of clicks into your content. But that's where the problem lies. Those aren't good faith clicks. Per its definition, clickbait is emotionally manipulative. This means that it is often setting up the user with unrealistic expectations. Let's take a look at an example to see what I mean. Shocking details revealed about terrifying doorbell prank that took twisted turn. That's a pretty harrowing title. I would be expecting some horror movie type details in this article. But let's take a look at an emotionally honest title covering the exact same story. Video of people in creepy Halloween masks threatening Virginia home, prompting police probe, was family prank. Compared to the clickbait title, the truth that this video was a family prank gone wrong seems underwhelming. This sort of high expectations paired with disappointing reality wears on users over time, making them trust your content less and less. Being tricked like this makes them feel silly, lied to, and just generally unpleasant, which decreases the chance they'll come back to your content. So, how do we avoid getting accused of writing cheap, manipulative copy and losing trust with our users? Making sure user expectations align with the reality of your content. When a user clicks into your content, they should know what they'll get or be in an emotional state reasonable for that information. Let's take a look at our good example again. NBC News took the first approach and thoroughly explained the information the user would find in the article. But that isn't the only way to do it. If the writer wanted to withhold information, they could also try something like this. Phew! The mundane explanation for creepy doorbell prank. While it doesn't give away the whole story, users know how to feel about the story's details, tempering expectations. Now that we've taken apart clickbait and what exactly makes it wrong, we can address how we can undo some of the fears holding back our writing. Sometimes, especially with unconfident or new writers, there's a tendency to avoid strategies like listicles, playful punctuation, caps lock, curiosity gaps, or emotional appeals due to their associations with clickbait. But these strategies aren't inherently clickbait. It's all about how they're used. And if you're using them in a way that matches user expectations to the reality of your content, you should use these strategies because they offer some enormous benefits to your writing. Listicles, or articles in a list format, offer a quick and easy structure that is also simple for users to scan. Playful punctuations like colons to create suspense, or exclamation marks for excitement or warnings add a lot of personality to your writing. The same goes for the occasional caps lock. Just as a heads up though, both these tactics work best when they're used in moderation and match your audience's expected tone. But the tactics I really want you to embrace are curiosity gaps and emotional appeals. These are incredibly powerful techniques that every writer should know. They get clicks, move users to action, even when they aren't being used as clickbait. Humans naturally want to complete information and act on their emotions, and using these two techniques takes advantage of these natural instincts. When you see a curiosity gap, you feel the compulsion to fill in that gap and answer your lingering questions. When you see a sad dog from poor conditions, you want to help the little guy. I see a lot of writers hesitate to use curiosity gaps and emotional appeals because they feel cheap due to their clickbait associations. But they don't have to be. Just remember, expectations should mirror reality. When you use a curiosity gap, you need to answer the questions you post. When you use an emotional appeal, the feeling should match the mood and gravity of the article. Because clickbait has such a negative stigma, writers like myself often get in our own heads avoiding it. But clickbait and why it has a negative perception is simple when you take a second to think about it. And once you understand it, it becomes much easier to avoid. So don't let clickbait get you down. Write creatively, play with what you can do. Just make sure you match expectations with reality.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more UX videos, check out these over here and consider subscribing to our channel. You can find even more resources on our website, including a free library of over 2,000 UX articles. And if you're ready to dive deeper, we offer both live, hands-on UX training and self-paced courses you can take anytime and at your own pace. Explore our full course library at nngroup.com.